Okay, BuckeyeHuddle.com, Southern Swing continuing. We were in Virginia yesterday. We're in North Carolina today. Ekene Ogboko, one of the top. I got that right. Good. Okay, got to make sure we get that right. I've been practicing. South Garner High School, one of the top offensive linemen in the country, and a guy who is newish on the Ohio State radar. You told me just when Coach Bowen took the offensive line job at Ohio State, that's when things picked up with you over the last maybe 2 or 3 months. Yeah. What has allowed Ohio State to get into this recruitment for you when so many other schools, were kind of earlier?
I think with Ohio State, they have a great program. They already have established. I like the culture, I like everything about Ohio State and just where it's at. Then I think Ohio State has a unique coaching style with 4 offensive line coaches, and so they got a lot of reps and development for the O linemen, and so I think that's a really good thing for me, and so I think that's what stands out for them with this development and reps and how many coaches they have at the O-line position.
Yeah, obviously they hired Tyler Bowen to replace Justin Fry, but they've brought in several other guys with offensive line background in their support staff. Marcus Johnson from Purdue. There's a few other. I don't want to miss anybody, but they've brought in a few, and those are going to kind of support Coach Bowen. So you noticed that when you were on campus, and you were on campus for spring practice?
Yeah, spring practice.
What were your takeaways from that?
It was a great practice. Everything was efficient and fast. You can see they had a little tackling drill that I liked out there with just tackling and just having fun out there. But also with the O-linemen, I got to see how they practice. You can see all 3 coaches are split up into 3 different groups, and they have an assistant just helping out there. But it's all 3 of them coaches split up with all the linemen, and it's like tackles might be here, guards might be here, right tackle, left tackle, just all split up. So you can see a lot of freshmen or younger people are getting a lot of development that you won't see at other colleges because it's just 1 coach or 2 coaches just coaching there. So I think I really like that about that.
So you've been to plenty of other programs. So that's unique to Ohio State, you think, as far as how they've run their practices and the reps they're getting their linemen?
I'll definitely say it's basically unique because you don't see too many coaches places with 4 O-line coaches. So basically, I don't think you see many places like that. So.
Coach Bowen's been recruiting this part of the country for a long time since he was at Virginia Tech, but you've gotten to know him a little bit the last 2 or 3 months. Just what are your impressions of Coach Bowen so far and things that maybe jump out to you about him?
My impression of Coach Bowen has been good so far. We came up there. He was good. He came down here. We had good energy. So everything has been good about him so far. Nothing bad about him, honestly, I can say. So it's just good impression. I think he's a good coach. He's a good teacher so far when he talked to me about my development. So I think Go Coach Bowen's good, man.
Yeah. You got an official scheduled at Ohio State?
Yes, I do. I have an official scheduled June 13th. June 13th, yeah.
Okay. What's going to be important to you, especially with Ohio State, just because, again, you don't have like a 3-year relationship with them the last several months. What's going to be important to you on that visit? Like, what do you need to see? Is there a feeling you need to get? Just kind of, what's your expectations, your hopes for that visit?
I guess really seeing like the whole style of culture outside of football and like academics and stuff like that, and just seeing what I can do outside of football and me just becoming a young man and just developing to my own. I want to see what they have to offer for me out there, and also see like how I fit in with other people, and just really see myself fitting in there. Because the football is good, everything's good about the football, but I definitely want to just go up there and see for myself as a person how I like it.
Sure. As far as their championship run goes, I mean, I don't know how much you watched that with their run of the championship. They had some issues on the offensive line in terms of injury. They had to move guys around. Donovan Jackson had to kick out to left tackle, just got picked in the first round by the Vikings. Did you watch any of that? And just, I guess, your impressions watching them kind of go on that run, if you did?
I didn't really watch any of that, but social media is a thing, and so I did see it on social media, and so I think that loss to Michigan really fueled Ohio State to go on a national championship run. I think it really saved Ryan Day and really helped him out just because, a lot of people were mad about that game. And, you know what I'm saying? So, it's a rivalry, so, people were getting mad about that game. And so to see them bounce back against adversity and go win that game shows what type of program Ohio State is.
As far as the rest of your recruiting process, what other officials do you have coming up, and where are things at with you with that?
Okay, so my other officials will be Clemson the first week. Right now, we're also trying to schedule LSU before that, but I don't know yet. They'll be down here, so we're talking about LSU to be determined right now. And then I have Georgia June 6th, and then after that, after official, and then after that official to Ohio State, we have Notre Dame for that last weekend in June. So those are four in June right now. You know, we're trying to get LSU scheduled before that. But,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, your older brother plays at Georgia.
Yeah.
Right? I guess how difficult is that going to be for the other schools involved with that relationship with Georgia, with your brother and everything else?
I'll say this. You know, a lot of people say that you know what I'm saying, because my brother at Georgia, they think I'm going to Georgia. I still have my eyes open on other schools, but Georgia is probably a place for me. I'll just say that because I just want to get it out the way. But I like Georgia a lot. But that doesn't mean that my brother's there. I'm going there. It was a good fit for him. And so I'll just say that about school, saying how difficult it is to get me because my brother's at Georgia. Yeah.
But what do you like about Georgia that, besides just your brother being there? I mean, there's some things you like about Georgia.
What I like about Georgia is already the program they have established with just like Ohio State. I think they have a great program, great winning program. I also like what's called the O-line coach there, Coach Searles. I think he's a good guy. He's a good developer. He's trying to get better at what he's doing, and you've been doing it for a long time, as you can see.
Yep. And
then also, I just think Georgia, with like the whole coaching staff, I like all of them, with the D-line to the O-line. I'm thinking I'm going to get a lot of reps against a lot of good people at Georgia with the D-line they have. And so I just think Georgia's a great program. And they also have a good business schools, too. So I want to major in business or financial management, something like that. So
Gotcha.
So I like about Georgia so far.
Clemson, you said it's kind of coming right off the bat here. Maybe your first. We'll see if not second visit with LSU possibly being in the works. But what do you like about Clemson? What obviously they're not maybe the local school, but they're close to home, and I'm sure they'd like to keep you down in this part of the country. What have they told you? What do you like about them?
I like Clemson a lot. Like they have a good culture, good program. With Coach Sweeney. I love Coach Sweeney, Coach Luke. I think Coach Luke was a great developer, too, who's also at Georgia, too. So I think I like Coach Luke a lot. What he says, just where he comes in, his manners, I think I like him a lot. And then I think Clemson as a program is also trying to move forward to get on that national championship run or get what they were before. So I think that's what I like about Clemson so far.
And then Notre Dame, obviously they're going to get a visit as well. What do you like about Notre Dame? Obviously, they made it to the national championship game as well this past year.
Like I said, Notre Dame, I think they're all great programs, great building programs, you know what I'm saying. It's hard to choose from. So Notre Dame is a great program, great academics. You can go there. It's hard to get in just as a regular student. So I think just having the offer from there is good just for academics and football. They have great academics, great football. I think it's a great school. I like Coach Freeman. I like Coach Rudolph. I think he can develop me. So I like Notre Dame a lot.
How do you separate on these visits here as we get, we're kind of winding down here, but how do you separate one from another at this point? You do have all these great options, as you mentioned, and what's going to be some keys for you?
I think how I separate them is how I probably will separate them on these OVs and how I really like get down there and really see what I like about really like about these schools and hone in, ask certain questions that schools need to answer for me that I need to hear about, and how I can fit in, really develop and get to the NFL, which is the goal here. And so I think I really sit down and talk with those coaches and see what's going on.
All right. What type of player will the school you pick be getting?
I think they'll be getting a hard worker, a grinder, coming there every day, work hard, trying to get my technique right every single day with the coaches, a player you can trust on the field, and just a player's going to have fun, honestly. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole goal, to have fun, but also to work hard. So just go out there and be myself, man.
Yep. You got these officials coming up in June. A lot of guys do the June officials so they can make a summer decision. Is that why you're doing that, or could you maybe take things into the fall? Just what's your thought process on that right now?
I don't have a full thought process on that. I think it can happen in June, but yeah, I probably will go through the whole official visit list before I make a decision. Definitely. But before then, I don't really have an exact timeline.
Sure.
But I will say that I will go through all the OVs before I make a decision.
Sounds good. All right. We appreciate you doing this.
Yes, sir.
Good luck here on your upcoming visits.
Thank you.
And good luck here as you guys get some work in here this spring.
Yes, sir.
All right.
you.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.